Hello, welcome back to the channel, guys. I have one request and one request only, okay? The one request is that you drop a like on this video pretty much instantly. Like, now would be good, but if you want to do it later when you've actually watched the video, that's okay. But just remember to do it if that's not too much of an ask. Just click it, sound. And then the other offer I have, this isn't a demand as much as the like is, but if you want to go and get the full album reaction, patreon.com is in the description. All of the videos get uploaded like way in advance. Like, this video was uploaded to Patreon like probably 3 weeks to a month ago at this point, but I just haven't gotten around to actually getting the video out for YouTube. So yeah, we have a Lamb of God Omerta album reaction coming very soon as well. It's going to be a highlight video because it did get blocked. Yeah, it did. It definitely got blocked. That is on Patreon right now. It might be up tomorrow. If not, it'll be a few more days. But the point is, all of these album reactions get uploaded in full to Patreon. So if you don't like watching the highlight videos, then Patreon might be good for you. There's a 7-day free trial if you want to get involved. But yeah, other than that, that's all for me, guys. The usual plugs, you guys know how Patreon works at this point. Links are in the description. Please like the video just so we can, you know, get this video shared out to more people. And yeah, that's all for me. Enjoy the video. Bye. All right, let's go. I wonder if they're going to be like their experimental self that I've heard from both the stage and their newer album. I believe, like, back then they weren't as experimental, but we'll see. It's funny to hear a snare so, like, thinned out. Just so used to that, like, modern fucking thump to it, but it sounds right according to the time, you know?
The city dressed in jewels and gold, finally in fire and pearls. The blaze will come all at once as the mourners watch her burn. Destroyed in an hour. Merchants and captains of the world, sailors, navigators too. Will we then mourn this loss with the
honestly, the production on my fucking snare that I was using with my coffee cup sounds about accurate to what this sounds like. It's pretty funny to hear. It's a lot more metal at this point. Obviously their newer stuff has just gotten way more experimental, but overall you can hear that kind of like experimental nature in the delivery of M Shadows' vocals. It's very meandering, has a lot of melody to it, especially in this track, or the last track. But this is definitely, song structure wise, a lot more like traditionally metal. Drumming's sick. Who's the drummer for Avenged? I know, I'm starting to get to know the members, but the drummer, I don't know. Let me check. Unexpected groove. Up until 2009, the Rev was their drummer from 1999 to 2009, so a 10-year stint in the band. So Mike Portnoy obviously stepped in for him. Interesting. Obviously the Dream Theater drummer as well, an absolute legend. I think he maybe stepped in after for a period of a year, it says, from 2010 to 2010. And then it was Aaron Ilge, I sorry, I don't know if I'm saying that name correctly. And then Brooks Wackerman is the drummer since 2015 up until today. And again, that's according to what I'm looking at in front of me. So if that's a little bit inaccurate, apologies. But it looks like the Rev passed away. I can see a snippet from an Loudwire article. So again, correct me if this is wrong in any way, but it just says what happened to the drummer for Avenged Sevenfold. Jimmy was not only one of the world's best drummers, but more importantly, he was our best friend and brother. The statement continued. On June 9th, 2010, the Orange County, California coroner's office told Rolling Stone that Sullivan died from an accidental overdose of prescription medication and alcohol. Okay, right.
Before I tear you down.
Cool layered vocals here. Feels like you're going insane a little bit, like the two different M Shadows talking to me. Man, this band has so much personality, even from back then. Like, each member has its own, like, identity. It's like they keep just passing the ball to the next member to do their own thing. I honestly am shocked that I don't recognize this song so far. But it's very fun, very bouncy, very groovy, easy to move your head to, but also not expecting this section as well, which is, again, a staple in Avenged Sevenfold's music from what I'm hearing in all their albums. It's like, it's so unpredictable, so wacky, so like traditionally metal, but then they just go down this weird experimental route, which makes it like very different. That little transition there was so fucking sick. That down, down, down. Yeah, that was sick. All these transitions are so clean. There's again the Rev and Sinister Gates going back and forth. Both trying to like steal each other's limelight, you know? Again, this is even more surprising because I think in the last album on the stage, I was saying that M Shadows has so much soul in his voice, but this is even like, what, fucking 18 years ago? So he's probably in his 20s in this one. And he sounds as soulful in this as he did in the fucking other albums I checked out. This is a nice track to kind of have on the background. I feel like it's a nice kind of relaxing track. It's a little bit less intense from a technicality standpoint. A couple of beers around a barbecue. I can see it. I can see it. Little campsite. That was the best he's sounded across all albums that I've heard so far. Sounds unbelievable there. That husk in his voice is unreal. I'm liking this. Oh, that's so clean. That is so clean. I needed something like this just to kind of break up the monotony of the album. It was getting a little bit repetitive to me. Very Latin all of a sudden. Oh, yeah. Yeah, another smooth transition. They kind of create a bit of a rhythm or a pattern, and then they just use the last phrasing of the pattern to transition into the next part, so you kind of keep you on your toes guessing. I do feel that last track was definitely a good point that, like, in terms of my enjoyment, that probably would have ended it there. Like, but I think now it's getting to that overkill point. Like, the album's an hour and 12 minutes long, which is a long album, no matter what genre you're talking about. But the fact that we still have, like, Jesus, another fucking 25 minutes left is a bit mad. I didn't think it was that long. Like, this track in itself is 9 minutes. I'm probably gonna have to take a toilet break. This is going on so long. It honestly feels like the last track was the end of the album and now we're starting a new album. Like, it feels like you're just kind of starting again unnecessarily. Like, if you cut these last 3 tracks out, we have like a 45-minute album, which is probably ideal length, to be honest, in my opinion. I might have to look into learning that lead work. That just sounds so fun. It's repetitive as well, so you can play along with the song, but like, it's just one fucking riff. Okay, so something along the lines of, obviously with more distortion, so. Okay, I'm back. I just started playing around with the guitar there and lost track of time, so we're back. Let's listen to the rest of the album. But yeah, it's a fun little riff to play. Again, lovely orchestral elements coming back into the mix, but I do stand by that it feels excessively long. Like, I think even for someone who's massively into this sound and maybe who would have listened to this when it first came out, I would be of the opinion that it would definitely still be on the long side, you know, even if you're mad into it. There's only so long albums, in my opinion, should run for. Certain albums, if they're massive exceptions, again, I can't speak for someone listening to this, you know, in 2005. Obviously that might be a little bit different, but just it takes a very special album for me to be over an hour long, especially into the hour and 10 minutes. Like, 70-minute long for an album is a bit mental. Kind of has like an Adam Levine cadence from Maroon 5. That's the kind of vibe I just got off of there. Like a rock/metal adjusted Adam Levine. I would say this album is definitely quite top heavy. Like, I mean, musically it's all beautiful. Like, it's all composed very well, it's all written very well and delivered very well. But I think as far as songs go, I don't think they're the best songs at all. Like, the plays on the tracks would kind of suggest that as well, that most people's interest peters off after like track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that was the same as me. Like, the last track and the only track I've liked is track 6, which is Seize the Day. But you know, I'm not really interested by anything anymore, you know. Maybe the last track will pick things back up again based on the fact that it has a lot more plays, but like, general consensus across the board from like start to finish, people listening to the album, is that, you know, people probably get a little bit bored after Seize the Day, which is exactly what's happening with me. Okay, and this is the final track. So yeah, I know I've had a lot of stops and starts. Like, I've gone to the toilet, I've, you know, started playing the guitar midway through it, so it's probably taken me a little bit longer than normal to actually finish up an album, but at the same time it does just feel too long. Even seeing that like 1 hour 12-minute mark was always going to be rough, and even like modern albums that I'd be more accustomed to listening to and, you know, would be more aligned with my actual taste from a day-to-day listening standpoint, even an hour and 12 minutes or something like that is definitely pushing it. So yeah, but again, we're going into these albums knowing that I'm kind of expecting to not love them. Like, to me, a lot of this stuff sounds outdated, but I am excited to listen to it as well at the same time, just to get that piece of history, that piece of like additional knowledge to kind of assist with my video making and my ability to kind of commentate and understand where certain sounds have been, you know, originated from. So that's all what it is, and obviously it gives you guys a chance to go back and relive albums that you may have listened to for years. But, you know, I'm not loving this part of the album. It's just getting a bit repetitive and boring to me. it does feel very, very overkill. Like, it just feels like they just continue to go when it probably doesn't need to. It's like it's just doing too much at this point. Like, why is it not over now? Like, we're going into another section here. Like, it just seems so overly done. Damn, I don't know. This album was definitely not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination. But again, kind of was expecting that going in. Maybe I fulfilled that, you know, expectation myself. But at the same time, I do think that there's a lot to be said about keeping an album to a certain length. I definitely had a lot more fun with The Stage and their newest album. Funnily enough, The Stage is actually longer than this album, but I don't remember The Stage feeling that long in comparison at all.